Hey guys, it's Stacy for Chapter Chicks, and yes, I do change my clothes. I just happened to be filming 3 videos today. So if you didn't catch yesterday's video, there was just a quick little announcement. We're doing a collab project with another channel where we do a chapter by chapter read over Straight Jacket. I'll put links to that down below just in case you missed it. So today I'm going to be reviewing one of the best reads I've had this year so far. Oh, I just loved it. It's a chart topper. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This was my first time reading it and I loved it. So just in case you don't know what this story is about, or you have one of the very vague synopsises that came with my story, our main character is Jean Louise Finch. Everyone calls her Scout. Her older brother, Jeremy, who everyone calls Jim, and her father, Atticus. Her father is a lawyer, and he's the one who ends up defending Tom Robinson, the African-American man accused of raping a young girl. This doesn't involve that. Scout and Jim have a next-door neighbor named Boo Radley. If you have not heard of Boo Radley, he is a very beloved character who is sewn into all different kinds of different literature and movies. There's a mystery surrounding him, so they also get caught up in that. My reviews are more focused on people who have not read it, so I will not be going too deep into it, but just know that I loved it. I loved every second, every word of this book. I love discovering these characters. I've heard so much about them throughout my entire life, and finally getting to know them. That reminds me a lot of me when I was growing up. I was a tomboy. I preferred to play with boys, climbing in trees, running around barefooted. I felt like I was a kid again reading this book, and it hits you at your core with the prejudice that you come across in reading this book. Oh, so good. Atticus. What an awesome name to begin with, and he just seems like the perfect dad. I love his courage, I love his willpower, I love everything about him. Going into this book, I really didn't know what to expect. Like I said, I only ever heard that it was a story about a African-American man raping a Caucasian girl in the Deep South back in the day, so you know it's going to be full of all kinds of emotions when you read that. I was expecting that. I feel like this story is so much more than that one little thing that people tell you that it's about. It has so many levels to it. The one that struck me the most is just re-experiencing what it was like to be a kid and learn about racism yourself for the first time, and getting that feeling of why can't we just all get along, and not completely understanding it and wishing that it wasn't even an issue to begin with. It's more about a story about these children and them experiencing the horrors of the adult world and how they cope with it and how they try to get past it and learn from it themselves while still trying to be children themselves and go on adventures, and their curiosity, things in the world around them, and just their pure innocence, and also seeing the adults seeing their innocence and realizing how violent they've become themselves. It was just such a powerful read, and for me it was nice to be reminded of that childish-like feeling of not completely understanding the world and having that basic principle. There's no gray area in these children's world. There's either right or wrong, and being reminded of that and that simple truths that children see that we tend to forget about as adults was just such a powerful and amazing read. Just to give you a taste of the incredible writing ability of Harper Lee, who is a woman, by the way, and I did not know that going into this story. I want to read you one of my favorite passages from the book. "You're too young to understand it," she said, "but sometimes the Bible in the hand of one man is worse than a whiskey bottle in the hand of your father." There's something I also really liked about Atticus. Anytime that he would threaten somebody, he would threaten it with, "Do you really think you want to do that?" And I just love that. Like, there's no cursing, there's no raising of the voice, there's no any threats. Just a simple, "You really think you want to do that?" That would get people to be like, "Whoa, I made Atticus mad. Maybe I should think twice about what I'm about to do." I love that. I love that he has that kind of authority over people. The ending is so powerful with the trial. When the trial started, I couldn't put it down. Cannot tell by now by this review. I wish I could go more into it, but I don't want to spoil anybody. But I highly recommend this book. If you're somebody who doesn't usually like classics, or really not for you, I would still highly recommend To Kill a Mockingbird. It's a very good book. It's a classic for a good reason, and it will hit you. By far my favorite parts in the book is Boo Radley. I just love his name. I love everything about him. He's my favorite character in the book. Loved it. My to read or not to read this week is 3 questions. So The first question is, do you normally like classics? Do you like deep and meaningful reads? Do you prefer character development over plot? Alright guys, so that was my review and thanks for watching. Bye guys.